My name is Navin Vasudev. I'm a social development education specialist with a particular interest in lifelong learning, skills development, qualification systems, and overall education, adult education. I'm going to be sharing with you today a project plan, a project design to attract institutions and hopefully maybe even funders to this project. It stems from my work over several years, work that I've done here in Pretoria. I am here in Pretoria, South Africa, watching and learning alongside people who collect and sort out our recycle every day. And what I've come to see is that these individuals are doing something remarkable. They know materials, they understand markets, they solve problems on the fly, and they build relationships. And in other words, they're learning constantly and I think expertly. But it's interesting that our education systems currently don't see it that way. The knowledge remains invisible because it doesn't come with a certificate or a classroom. Now, this project that I talk about, and which will be implemented, hopefully, sets out to change that. It's about recognizing the real deep learning that happens today in the informal. And today I'll walk you through that thinking behind this project, how the research works on the ground, and a little bit on what it produces for the recyclers themselves, the educators, policymakers, and for funders. And I think at the heart, this project is about dignity and visibility. I hope you'll find this interesting, and together we can find a way to take it forward. I'm going to switch off my camera right now just to make sure that you all can hear me through and through, and I'll come through back again in the camera. So with that, I'll just close my video, and I invite you to this particular presentation called Recognizing Open Learning Through Community Recycling in Pretoria. We can go to the next slide. So very quickly, every day, I've already spoken to you about what this project is about. To give you context, every day in Pretoria, people sort plastic and glass by hand. They know every material, every price, every market. They solve problems on the fly, build trust with strangers, sustain ecosystems the rest of us depend on. But almost no one calls that learning. And I want to start with a question, and just keep that in mind. When we say someone is educated, what do we actually mean? Just keep that in mind as I go through the various slides I have here. So this project is about making that learning visible and changing how we recognize it. Next slide, please. So, sorry, did I move? It's called the big idea. I think it's the one before, Andy, sorry. Yeah. Okay, so my slide is about what I call the big idea. Now, these are people, the recyclers aren't people waiting to be trained. They're already experts. They understand material grades, the market pricing. They navigate, particularly very interesting in South Africa, they navigate complex social networks, sometimes really challenging. Currently, xenophobia, as many of you may have heard about, the xenophobia that's striking South Africa really blatantly. They adapt daily. What's missing isn't the learning, it's the recognition. And that's a really important bit we must understand. But here is what is really interesting. It's not just about recognizing them. It's about how we recognize people. Next slide, please. Now I come to the problem. What is the problem? And a problem statement. So the current system as we know it, and I'm not going to be reading from there, but just to give you an idea, the current system, I would say, is quietly very patronizing, even when well-intentioned. Think about how recognition usually works, at least in my understanding. An expert arrives, they assess, they decide, the community waits. That's not recognition, it's really a verdict, and sometimes they even use the word decision. And it positions communities as problems to be evaluated, not people to be heard. This project, as I see it, it's flipping it a little bit. we start from the assumption, and it goes to what Serge had said earlier, that recyclers already hold valuable knowledge. The question isn't what can they prove, it's what do they know? What can the rest of us learn from them? So you see the shift that is taking place. And what I want to talk about here is this shift, which is actually grounded in two very interesting frameworks that helps us think clearly about what learning actually is. And with that, I'd like to ask you to move to the next slide. The two frameworks, and these are really interesting frameworks. Just to give you an idea a little bit, it's from Erich Fromm. He wrote in 1976 that modern societies treat almost everything, including knowledge, as something to accumulate, to own, to possess. And he called this the having mode. But there's also very interesting, there's also another mode called the being mode, which is learning as something you live, grow through, express through your work. And that's what our recyclers here do. And the UNESCO framework, this is the 4-pillar framework. It's a really interesting framework. It was, I believe, it was started in 1996. It was updated, I think, about 10 years ago. And this framework argues that the real education isn't just knowing facts. It's about learning to do, to be, and to live alongside others. And you'll see these 4 pillars, very interestingly, it comes again and again in this project. So if you take the 4 pillars in practice, next slide, please, you can just see what it looks like. To know, to do, to be, to live together. And I find this really interesting. And the recyclers, if you look at what they do, understanding materials, hands-on sorting, resilience, judgment, identity, dignity, and the whole area of cooperation, negotiation, and shared space. So I would like to take you to the next slide. And what does it look like when you look at the 4 pillars in practice? That is, recyclers don't just tick one box. As you can see, they live all the 4 boxes, the 4 pillars, as you would say, simultaneously. Learning to know, they understand which plastics can be recycled. Learning to do, it's a hands-on, physical, practical knowledge. Learning to be, and here's what tends to get overlooked, the sense of identity, resilience, and judgment, and the learning to live together. That is, recycling is a social act. There are negotiations over sites, cooperation in networks, and informal codes of conduct. Now, the question is, who does the recognizing? And that's where the project, I think, is interestingly lays something very different. Next slide, please. What I call a reciprocal, sorry, I think it's the earlier slide. Yes. That is recognition working in both ways, or reciprocal recognition. So there are 4 layers of recognition we are working with: self-recognition, peer recognition, external recognition, and institutional recognition. And I put each of these. The crucial word, I think, is reciprocal. Researchers learn from recyclers, municipalities learn from the recyclers, and it's not just rhetoric. It's built into the design of every conversation, every case study. And I think this is what is really important in this particular project. Next slide, please. And so how do we work in this project? How does this project see its implementation? So ordinary research is usually extractive. You go in, take what you need, write it up, leave. Here, we're doing something a little different. It's based on informal conversations, not structured interviews, a lot of observations, not surveillance. At least we try to build in plain English, not academic jargon. And the case studies, when they will be developed, will center around real people, real stories, linked to the frameworks that I talked about. And what is really interesting is we end with celebration. It's not just a conference, not a report launch, but a gathering where practices are publicly affirmed. Next slide, please. So what does the project, sorry, I lost. What do funders receive? Now, there are key 5 concrete outputs. What the project sees is case studies that can be used in training rooms and classrooms, a synthesis paper, possibly for policy audiences, public articles for broader outreach and visibility, and possibly a policy briefing, which are short, direct, and usable. And community events, which I think are really important, something like this, that makes the learning visible to the people. And next slide, please. Who benefits? We're hoping that the return for this project is very concrete. For the recyclers, their expertise is named and really important, celebrated. For the educators, grounded examples of what can be taught and also holistic learning. Policymakers, a new lens on informal economies. For the funders, a project that connects 3 of the most important conversations. So I think, next slide, please. Why are we talking about funding such a project? I think the most important thing is education as a public good, lifelong and open learning, social inclusion, environmental sustainability. These are very important in any, I think, in any project, and it speaks to each of these. And I think what makes the difference is the framing. We're not certifying people. We're not running a training program here. We're showing that the learning is already happening, and we're arguing that a society which can't see that is missing something important. Next slide, please. And this is my last slide. I call this a project, a different kind of investment in how we see people. 3 commitments that shape everything we do. Recognition that starts with hospitality, not judgment, and a learning which is visible in practice, and communities as contributors to knowledge, not just as recipients of support. So this is what the project, I'm hoping that we can turn it into something that can be implemented. This again comes from a lot of observation, my work at the South African Qualifications Authority in South Africa. And my closing line is, recyclers of Pretoria are already learning. The question is whether we are ready to learn from them. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. We take it from there. Thank you again.
Okay, thank you so much, Navin. Yes, get those claps in there. Yeah. Questions? We've got 5 minutes. This is going to be a fast-paced day.
Yeah.
Navin, thank you so much for that.
Welcome, Andy. Thank you.
I have a quick question to get it going. Do you think this is obviously for recycle workers? Yeah. Can you think of other contexts that it could be, your work could be, you take what you've done and put it into different contexts?
I think so, Andy. I mean, of course, the reason why it's interesting, the reason why I took up the recycle project is I'm very much involved in the work of the recycling area in the community. And that's the reason why I took this up. Every Friday, I've made friends of people who actually come here in South Africa, in Pretoria. You have people every week of the day, they come here to pick the recycling. So I'm very much close to them. A lot of interesting work also comes from my work with the refugees in South Africa. And many of the learnings can actually be put onto some of the work that has been done, excellent work that has been done in migration and particularly with refugees. So I think it can be used in different contexts for sure.
Come on, people. Questions in the chat, comments in the chat, or just turn your microphone and go for it. Got a few minutes. Agnes, c'est pas problème.
Merci. C'est difficile à suivre.
Horace, sorry, I didn't see the hand.
Was there a question?
Alan.
Yes, are you hearing me?
Yes.
Yes, morning. Horace from Trinidad.
Welcome.
Thank you. Is this system that you're proposing, Navin, how do we, is there a plan in the framework to create some knowledge management library that over the years it has been traditionally embraced to identify recognition in the workplace, but learning continues after people retire? So is there a plan that it can create a library where we could access, where persons can access information when we can target people who have retired from the workplace as well? Because we tend to, at least in the Caribbean, we tend to, in the Caribbean, in the workplace and in universities, we tend to only focus on how the person how the individual fits into the workplace. But is there a holistic plan that will encapsulate and allow people to continue having their recognition, because learning continues post their attachment to workplace and or university? I'll listen offline.
A really good question, Horace. At the first level, it's quite an interesting question because in December of 2025, I actually stepped back from the South African Qualifications Authority. I took early retirement just to follow my dreams, my passions in various projects. And this is something that has come through since I actually took up retirement, and I think I'm doing my best work now. So I totally agree with you. I think this is something that the project, I would really like to take this on. For one, I think it's important that the project positions itself is based in an organization, but I think in terms of outreach and visibility, I think it needs to be done far and wide in every way possible. So the area of documentation and all forms of documentation is really important, and I think that is something I would hope that the project could continue. And I would really like to spend a little more time on how this can be taken up. So I think that's why collaboration would be so important. But thank you for that question.
Excellent.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, sorry, Horace. So we've already got contributions from South Africa and Barbados, and we're sort of hosting this in Canada. So we're already covering quite a bit of the world. Alan, if you could put your question in the chat. Navin, Alan's, because we've run out of time.